just doing a quick trip into town to get I need some fine paper. So yeah, I'm gonna go get a few different grades of paper, and I might look at some different cutting compounds as well, get some stuff. I really need it for that car. Look, I got plenty of 400, and I had a bit of a look. I've only got a couple of sheets of 600 left, and I've only got a couple of sheets of 800 left, and I got nothing. Yeah, like I said, like 1500 or 2000, just except for the couple bits that I've got. So, and I need my cutter is pretty empty, and so is the polished wax as well. That's pretty empty too. So I'm going to shoot to town and go to my paint supply guys and just get some stuff and then come back. But I'd like to just order it and whatever, but I'll go in there and have a look, because I'll see what the last time I got cutter and polish, it was from a different paint supplier. I haven't bought anything since then, if you know what I mean. But I'm getting low, so yeah, and I'm just still trying to decide what I'm going to do with that paint, whether I'm going to fucking sand it back, and or whether I'm just going to give it another day to harden up and see if I can. I've just got to sand the roof anyway to paint it, so I'm trying to make my mind up whether I sand it and paint the body as well. I don't know, I'm just trying to, two minds, but I need some paper anyway, so I'll go get some paper and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so I'm back. So we'll give this bonnet one more try with, just to see how it's going to go. I've got some new 800, 1500 and 2000, and I'm not too worried about the 3000 pads. I think I've got a few of them at home. I've got one here that's fine. See, we've got some fresh stuff. I was using Norton 800 before, because that's what I could get locally, but I've now got some decent 3M stuff. So I'll start with 800, we'll just go over the whole bonnet, and then we'll go 1500, and then we'll go 2000, and then I'll quickly run over with that and just see if we can get the scratches out from the thing. I think the paint's still too soft, but another day won't hurt. But we'll see if we can get this bonnet to look half decent. And so that was the cutter. It's a like two-step cutter that I was using before. So I got another bottle of that, because I'm just about out of that. Like, there's a little bit in there. So I got another bottle of that, and it's obviously a slightly newer version, but the same thing. And then, because this wax polish is getting very low, I've had that for years. I got basically the same product, but the wax protection version of that. So at least when I've got everything looking good, I can throw some of that on the buff and throw it on as well and give it a decent go, or do it by hand or whatever. I haven't had a good look at it, to be honest. Shake, dispense, you wipe it on. So basically you wipe it on. I don't know whether I could put it on with maybe a wool pad or not, I don't know. I'll do a wee bit more research. But yeah, we'll go with the 800 and the 1500 and the 2000. At least it's fresh stuff, and so if we can get a nice fine cut on that, and then run out with that disc. So that might, hopefully that'll get rid of the scratches with some decent paper. Because like I was using a nice set of fresh 800 in the Norton. I don't really particularly like Norton paper. It's all right. Their wet and dry's okay, but their other stuff's just like their dry paper is garbage compared with 3M. So we'll start with a bit of fresh 800, and then we'll go with that. Like, I don't mind using the 400 and the 600 in the Norton, but when we get into the real fine stuff, at least if I'm using better stuff, we might get a better cut and get rid of the scratches from the slightly coarser stuff, if you know what I mean. But I don't know, it might be too soft still, but we'll try. Because the centre of it doesn't look that bad, but yeah, I can't quite get it to clean up. Actually, I'll go around the edges, the two outside pieces first. Flick the phone. I'll go over these two outside bits a bit more. We'll get rid of some orange peel. Some more orange peel with the 600. We'll carry on with that. Yeah, we'll go with the 600. And we'll get that knocked down, and then we'll go to 800 and 1500 and 2000. So I got 10 sheets of each. Like, that'll last me forever. Well, not forever, but you know, like that's there's several paint jobs. I didn't think it was worth getting 50 sheets in a pack. I'll just give us 10 of each, and that'll last me forever. I'll just put them up in the cupboard and keep them out of the shit, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we'll get this two side bits, and then we'll attack the whole thing with the 800 and the 1500 and 2000, and then we'll run over again with the compound, and see if we can get it to come up, and then we'll put a bit of wax on it and just see. Otherwise, if I can't get it to pull up decent, it should, but if I can't get these fucking scratches out of it, we might have to just give it a really fucking good hard rub back, and I'll wax and grease it, and a couple of times maybe even run over with some brake clean to get the polish off it, and cut it back with 400, and I'll just respray the whole fucking car. We'll just see, because I'm going to have to do the roof anyway, so this is kind of like my test piece. It's not the worst. The doors and the sides are actually worse, which is the freaking scary thing about it. So we'll have one more go here, since I've basically bugged it anyway, but I've got a couple of hours here left yet. So yeah, we'll get into it. Right, morning, Malcolm back again. So, yesterday, struggled with that, trying to get that bonnet to come right. I'm just not happy with the paint being so soft and not being able to buff it out properly. So, I don't really want to be screwing around waiting a week or so for this paint to harden up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over these panels with the DA with some 400 grit and just rip them down. You know, give them a frickin' really good scuff up, and just fucking reshoot the car as much as I don't want to. I think I'm going to have to, just to get the result I would like to be able to send it away with. If I can get it close to the roof standard, obviously I'm going to repaint the roof as well. But yeah, I'm just not happy. I don't want to be sending it out with a heap of scratches like that. Because I've had enough issues with this. Well, I won't say issues, but with this guy already about arguing about the fucking price of everything, just in recent days. So And I just want to get the fucking thing back. It's going to be a pain in the ass because it's going to take me at least another couple of days to fucking get this thing sorted. I see a bird's fucking shit on the car. Fucking birds, God, pain in the ass, but anyway. Yeah, so I think I'm going to pull a door off at a time, DA it, mainly just the outer skin, and I'll just whip around the top. I'm not worried about the inside. It's only really the tops of the door panels that you see where I can give them a light wee buff or whatever just to bring them up. Look, I won't even wet sand them, I'll just run them over with the buff and just see if they'll brighten up a little bit, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think I'll just pull a door off at a time, DA it, and bolt it back on, pull the next one off, DA it. And then the only ones I'll have to do on the car, obviously, is the rear quarters and the roof. But that's not quite so bad. It just means I'm not trying to get down low. I'm not going to worry about the, might give the rocker just a quick run over, just a quick go over it. But yeah, and the rest of it will just mask out, I guess. I'll have to go get some more sheets, because I've only got one left, I think. Yeah, I've only got one left, so I might send Mrs. a quick message and just say, can you grab me some more of those fucking plastic sheets? While she's mucking around doing other stuff. So yeah, I think that's the go. I don't see really any other way around it nicely, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So I'll move some, I'll quickly run over the bonnet, and then I'll sort out something. I'll move these, and then I'll pull a door over and do it, bolt it back on, and then I'll run over of these other things as well. Some of it I'll have to do by hand, but if I can get the majority of it done with the DA with some 400 on it, I will. It'll just save me a shitload of time. I just don't want to be spending fucking hours wet sanding. By the time I wet sand it and buff it out, I could probably have DA'd it and spray painted it with the less issues, and less then I won't have all the scratches in it. If I can, obviously, if everything goes well. And my biggest fucking worry now is, now that I've buffed this, can I get the wax out of it? Which is a pain, but yeah. It would be okay, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be screwing around waiting forever for this to, fucking stop darkening up, phone. Yeah, sorry, I just don't want to be waiting for this paint to get hard enough for me to buff it properly and not end up with a pile of scratches in it, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Well, it'll get better as each day goes by, but yeah, I don't want to be giving them back to them fucking like the middle of the next week, if you know what I mean. I want to get rid of it before the end of the fucking week. I was hoping to be putting the thing together, but the paint just fucking screwed me up. I'll tell you what, I'm going to use those viscosity caps every fucking time now, especially for top coat. I'm not worried about with fucking primers and shit like that, if you know what I mean. It's not an issue. If it goes on a bit rough, you're sanding it out anyway. And primer's a lot softer than, top coat, so it sands off pretty easy anyway, if you know what I mean. As long as it flows out reasonable, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, yeah, we'll get into it. Yep, that's the way to do it. I need to do just a little bit more in here, a couple of spots, but I think that's pretty good. I might just have to hand sand just a little bit in a couple of wee spots. I might better get it. I might just have another go with the DA, but all I did, because I don't have this sort of stuff in a pad, I just put two pieces on here, and it works good. It's not ideal, but it works good. So yeah, I might just run into the seats just to get a wee bit more of that stuff out. But yeah, I'm going to have to repaint it now, breaking through in a couple of wee spots where I've been rubbing against stuff. But shit, I don't care. That'll be nice. That'll come up nice now. Nice and flat again. And yeah, like I'm really only going to have to put, a couple, just maybe just a mist a touch on here, let it dry for a few minutes, and yeah, and then just one nice frickin' wet coat, maybe two, you know what I mean? Put one on, see how it lays, and go from there. So yeah, I don't think there's any fucking reason to be screwing around. I'll shift these panels. I'll have to have a good look at this one. I think this is okay. We'll see. Panels I don't have to spray, I won't, if you know what I mean. Like this one here, I think it's pretty reasonable. This is okay. It's not perfect, but it's not. Oh, for all it's fucking going to take to sand it though, and just blow another coat over it and have it nice, a bit flatter. Let's actually get a bit of it in there, isn't it? That's all right. Yeah, we may as well just give it a quick rub back. I want you to probably be alright though. Like, you know, it's something that can be wet sand and buffed later on though too, you know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll work on that one later. You know, like we can leave that till last and decide whether we're going to or not. It's probably not that bad. You know what I mean? It's a wee bit textury. It might be best too. It's not as parts of it are okay. Yeah, if we can get the paint to lay down a lot nicer, it may as well. Obviously, I'll redo the bumper. May as well, if you know what I mean. And give it a quick wet sand. At least it'll the paint will give it a bit more of a fill too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll do it over here because it's a bit more open space. Yeah, we'll just pull the door off, sand it, and fucking put it back on. Why the hell didn't I do this yesterday? I guess I was trying to save the paint job, but I am. But you know what I mean? Like, it's only 9:30, and these two panels are sanded already. Right, so where are we at now? So I've got the hatch basically sanded. I want to go around a couple of spots, but it's basically sanded. All four doors are basically sanded. I'm just in the midst of doing front fender, so I've got it partially blocked out, or sanded. So I really got to do the bottoms and just and around the edges and bits and pieces, and obviously just around all the nooks and crannies. And possibly just needs a wee bit more around the wheel arch sort of type thing. You can see there's a wee bit speckly in places. That needs a little bit more of a sand. But so yeah, all the doors are done. So you obviously we'll do the other front guard and finish that off after lunch. And then we'll jack the back of the car up and rip into the back quarters and then the roof. Or I might do the roof while it sits here. I might do the roof first since it's head down and I've got these boards here, and we'll knock this down. And yeah, pain in the ass have to do this, but anyway, it is what it is. But we'll make sure we get down in here and give this a good scuff up. Hopefully the DA will rip it back pretty quick. The worst thing is it's freaking getting all these freaking edges again. But it is what it is, because I don't think the DA will fit in between. It'll fit on, like, it sits on the top fine, but yeah, it's the in-betweens that's a pain in the ass. I really need to get myself a little electric sort of type DA, sort of thing, like a little 4-inch or something like that, or whatever. Righty, so got another one of these. I managed to get that little piece out of it eventually. But yeah, I got a new one as well, so I'll fix that one. So at least I got this one here to do my thing with, and then if I ever happen to break it or damage it or drop it and smash it or whatever, I've got a spare, even though it's got it'll have a shorter handle on it now by, I don't know, whatever it is, a little bit. Like, it's not a lot shorter. It'll be fine, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure if you... Yeah, so it's only going to be a little bit shorter. So at least if I do happen to damage one or drop one or whatever, or if I'm doing a couple of different colours, too. So, yeah. I think they're Ford ones. I'm not 100% sure. I forgot to get the missus to ask which type they were. But it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'll get back sanding and see if we can get this knocked out and masked up before the end of the day, hopefully. Righty, so I'm about to leave. So I actually ended up, I hated this thing. It looked like garbage. And it was kind of, either needs a massive amount of work or whatever, if you know what I mean. So I sprayed some texture coat on it. At least when we spray some paint on it, it won't look actually that bad. And the top half is pretty much hidden. You're kind of visible, but hidden. But at least it's kind of, the texture hides the ugly, if you know what I mean. And I actually sprayed it on the inside of the bumper and gave the ends a real good go up, where there was a lot of welds shit in there. So at least that'll be protected. And I flicked the insides of the doors too, down in where I'd done repairs. So like I'd put rust treatment and all that sort of bullshit down in there at different points. So I thought we'll just splurge it in down the bottom, sort of 4 or 5 inches, and give it some decent protection down there where we've done all the repairs. So the only thing I've got to finish sanding in the morning is that, and then I will just give this a quick go over, because there's bound to be splatter on it where I don't want the shit. But it won't be take too much to give it a clean off in the morning, and then basically just paint over that, and then whatever, get ourselves sorted. But I just thought I'd do the inside of that too, because it was ugly. At least it protects it, and that just needs a quick sand in the morning as well. I've got other shit that I need to do, so. But yeah, we're basically ready to go. Like the other front guard's done. Everything else is done. Yeah, just got to finish sanding that. I did start, and and then do that. Basically, I thought, well, I'm basically kind of not finished, but I thought, well, we'll split some shit, splurge some shitting around there, and then we can finish that in the morning, and that'll get rid of any overspray from that crap. And when we spray it, I can flick a pass of colour in there, just to sort of seal it, and that'll be the same. So yeah, much as we didn't want to repaint, well, we're not really repainting, we're just putting a couple of coats over the top to fix the mess, and we'll be golden. So yeah, and we'll do a couple of passes on the insides of the tops. Oh, I haven't sanded that one actually. I need to sand that one. It's actually got an ugly dent in it, and I didn't frickin' realise it was there either. But until I went to turn it over to paint the other day, and after I'd finished doing all the body work, and I was like, no, it is what it is. It can stay there. Yeah, if I realised it was there earlier, I would have fixed it. But that's not one of those situations. It's just, if the guy was going to pay me like properly, I would have probably turned around and spent a wee bit more time fixing that, like because you can recover it a little bit. You know what I mean? So I'll let that down. I'll quickly let that down so it's not hanging up on the jack. Since I've sanded the guards now, it doesn't need to sit up any longer. I just quickly jacked it up and thing. It's underneath the diff, so head wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't climbing underneath it. It was only just scuffing the outside, so she's all good. We'll give it a final go off in the morning and get some colour on it, and mask it out and get some colour on it. Righty. Right, morning. Let's get these couple of parts finished getting scuffed back, and then we'll mask the car out, have a final clean up, and get some green back on this fucking thing. Get it, hopefully this time, fingers crossed. We should be right. As long as we get the viscosity right, and I don't try and pour it on too thick, we should be good. Right, we're all cleaned up, wiped down, masked out, ready to go, I think. So yeah, I'm just basically just letting this sit for a couple of minutes, just to let anything into the, what do you want to call it, wax and grease remover dissipate. I've wiped down the hood a couple of extra times just to try and get rid of any extra grease or wax off it, because we did try to polish it. So hopefully with giving it a good rip down and then giving it 3 or 4 wipe down, so it's good. And I used, when I wipe down everything, I wipe down everything else first, and then wipe down the hood, put that rag down, grabbed another fresh one, and did it again, did everything else again, and then wiped that down, then wiped it down a couple of times again with another couple of fresh rags, just to make sure, hopefully, we don't have any issues. Fingers crossed. Because hopefully I only really need a couple of coats. I'll try and, I'll mix up enough for sort of 2-ish, and we'll just see where that pans out. Well, I don't really want to pour a whole heap of paint on it, I don't need to. There's like a few little areas that I've sanded through, obviously back through to prime. Just edges and bits and pieces, so we'll give it one, and yeah, and then we'll probably put another one over top. If the first one looks really, really good, I'll just leave it alone, as long as there's no bare patches. Any of the worst bare patches, I'll give them a quick wee flick first, because I know there's a couple around the back that are down low, so it won't matter quite so much. But if there's, yeah, I'll have a quick wee scout around. I know there's a few, so we'll give any of those really bad ones a quick flick, and then the rest of it we'll just spray, and yeah, hopefully it turns out good. Yeah, and I'll do 2 coats if needed, but I'll mix up enough for probably one and a bit, and we'll just see if I have to mix up a little bit more while I'm waiting for that first one to flash, basically. Yeah, then we'll put another one over top. Right, so just mixing my paint. I've got it at 15% at the moment, I think. So I'll just, probably should have used a bigger cap. I thought about doing just 1 cupful, but I just thought, just in case. But there's plenty of paint in there. Like, I'm not too worried if I have to tip some here or tip some out. Like, I'm not too worried. I'd rather have a little bit extra than not enough, if you know what I mean. So we'll get it at 15%, and we'll just see where that goes. And yeah, see how that runs for time, and then we can always put a little bit more in it. Yeah, so we're about 20 seconds there. So different, obviously, when I did the white the other day, it was a bit cooler again. So we're at 15, so we probably need to be just a wee splash more to get down to that 15 seconds. So we're right on about 20 seconds, or just slightly over. So we only probably need another wee dash, just for a touch more, to be a touch thinner. So I'm not going to worry about putting it through again. We know we're close. So I'll just tip this back in, and we'll just see where we were, like for level. I'm pretty sure we're at 15. Yeah, so we're right on there 15. So we'll just put a wee splash in there. 15. Yeah, borderline 15. So we'll just put a wee dash in there, just enough to bring it up, and probably the mid of the 20, or just even, not even that much, just enough. And I think that should be pretty good. We're close, you know what I mean? Different day, different temperature, shows the difference. Right. So that's laid out really nice. That's laid out pretty nice. Same with that. I think this is pretty good too. Yeah, it's pretty good. These all look pretty decent. This side, fuck, I don't know, for some reason it hasn't laid out as nice as the other. This one here seems to be, it's okay. It's not great. It fucking drives me nuts. I seem to be able to get the panels laying down good, but yeah, I don't know. I've always just struggled a little bit. This side's reasonable, but it's not great. I don't know whether I wasn't just going quite slow enough. And I went to do a second coat on this side, and then I walked away from it. Because, yeah, I don't know, it's just too textury. I might have to, I don't know, just quickly scuff this and fucking shoot it again. Just put 1 coat on it. Yeah, but everything else I'm really happy with. Yeah, probably that actually probably needs a little bit more colour on it, but not too stressed about it. Everything else is good. You don't really see that piece very well. Yeah, pain ass. I don't know, I put 1 coat on there and it was flat-ish, but it wasn't too bad. And I thought, because I'd done 2 coats and everything else, and I went back to do just the second coat on the body. And I was like, done that side, and I was like, fucking pain in the ass. I don't know. I just wonder if I'm just going a little bit fast. Because you're meant to go, you know, when you're paying panels laying down, you can go nice and slow, but when you get to the side, you gotta go a little bit quicker, otherwise it'll run. If you go too slow, it'll run easy, obviously, because of gravity. So you gotta pick up your speed a little bit, and I just wonder if I'm just a touch quick. You know what I mean? Moving just a little bit quick. Pain in the ass, and that's one thing I've always struggled with. I can get most things really nice. Well, that's laid out really nice, you know. I'm freaking happy with that, but I don't know, it's that side panel. This one's, like, this side isn't as bad as the other. It's pretty good, but it's not perfect either, you know what I mean? It's not as glossy as those. It's not horrendous, but yeah, it really probably needs a second coat, but I'm just, oh, don't know. Pissed me off. Just haven't quite freaking got it right. Just wonder if I'm just rushing a little bit, you know what I mean? Just trying to go a little bit too quick. But anyway, because I don't think it's going to flatten out. It's just a pain. And sometimes, you know, you walk away for half an hour and it looks better, but yeah, I don't know. I'll leave it alone, I think. Right. I didn't film anything because I didn't want to jinx myself, but I'm pretty happy with the roof. It's probably about as good as it was last time, except it doesn't have the sag in the front, and we definitely got more paint in the sides. I've got a couple minor. I just didn't, when I dialed the gun back just to flick in here, I probably just didn't have it quite wound back enough. I probably should have had it only like one turn. So basically, when you're setting a gun up, well, this is kind of what I've learnt. I've slightly changed from what I used to do, but basically you pull the trigger until there's air coming out, but no, like just put a little bit of thinners or reducer in it or whatever, and just pull it until it's like basically it's not coming. There's no fluid coming out, and then wind your needle in so you can't pull back from there, and just tweak it back a little bit, and then wind it 3 turns out. Is normally where I run when I'm spraying. So yeah, I turn it in about one and a bit, and I probably should just had it about 1. Well, I've got just a very minor couple of spots where it's run, but not really, if you know what I mean. I'm not too worried about it. Like it's something that when we fix the site, like when we if we end up cutting and buffing the sides or whatever, we can probably maybe do something with it, just give it a wee light wet sand in there to take some of the run out and whatever. But it's not too bad. Like it's not right in your face. It's just like down and right down in the gutter. So kind of is what it is. Like there's a little bit there too, and I've got just a touch on the other side as well. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to leave it alone. It is what it is, if you know what I mean. There's just half a wee sag here too, but it's barely anything. It's not worth worrying about. Like it's something we can tart up later. But yeah, it is what it is. Like it's nice and shiny. There's a couple minor dry spots, but again, it's like when we do this, you know, we can give this let it dry let it cure up for a month or 2 or whatever, and then if you wants me to buff it or whatever, or you can get somebody else to give it a quick wet sand, you know, rub it back with a bit of 2000 and 3000, then give it a cut, if you know what I mean, a cut and a buff and a polish, and it'll be fine, you know. It's pretty good. The roof's about as good as it was last time, except it doesn't have the sag, and at least we got colour down here this time. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Leave it alone, cover back in a couple of 3 hours, just let it harden up. So if we do happen to touch or buff, brush your hand on it or something like that, it's gone off. So it'll be going off pretty quickly now, but you know, just walk away for 2 or 3 hours, and then come back and strip everything off, and at least then you know it's dry enough that if you do happen to touch it or put your hand, you know, press your hand on it by accident or something like that, it's not an issue, you know what I mean? You're not going to leave a mark in it. do a bit of clean up around the front and spray a bit of, you know, black, just rattle can around the front radiator support panel and all that sort of shit, and bolt it back together. I'm pretty sure it'll be happy. You know, it's just one of those things, you know, like I said in the early parts of the video, when I edit together I'll try and chop some of them out, but it hasn't laid down perfectly, but it's pretty good. You know, in a month or two or whatever, whenever he gets the car however he wants it and gets it on the road, it can be go for a cut and, you know, give it a quick cut and buff, or you know, a quick wet sand and buff, and it'll really bring it up sharp. So it's not perfect, but it's a damn sight better than it was. It's not full of rust. You know, the bulk of the dents are gone. It's not perfect. There's a few flaws in it, but you know, it's pretty nice. You know, even at this distance, it's good. Like you know, it's a what I would call a 2 or 3 footer. You know, you got to get really close to start noticing, you know, small bits and pieces. It's pretty straight. It's, you know, it's got a wee bit of orange peel, but like, yeah, there's a couple of ripples on the doors and whatever. You know, like I said, like if you had plenty of time, you know, if it was a bigger dollar build, you know, you could spend a wee bit more time. You'd block it out and prime it a couple more times, and you would pull a lot of these things up. You know, they aren't perfect. Definitely wasn't chasing perfection, but I was trying to get it pretty decent, if you know what I mean. And it's pretty decent, considering, you know, what we started with and all the dents and warpage and weird things going on. It's pretty straight. It's not perfect, but it's pretty straight. Like most people, you know, that'll walk past this is going, oh, that's pretty tidy. There's a few bits and pieces that I'm not 100% happy with, but like it's a bit of a funny spot there where I've missed a bit of shit. You know, I'll just, every time I've walked around it and sanded it and whatever, it's one of those things that you miss, you know. But that's where, you know, if you got more than one person in the shop, you know, another person will pick up things that you miss, you know, and you can make a better product. Or if you've got lots of time and you're not under time pressure and you're not under money pressure, and you know, sometimes you just can relax and think a bit clearer, you pick up some of these funny issues. But hey, for what it is, it's pretty good. Like it's the same colour inside and out basically now, so that makes a huge difference too. You know, that makes a hell of a difference. You know, you put all the interior back in it and the painted pieces in the back, you know, and they'll come up with a quick repolish too. You know, you could burn a bit of a, you know, in a couple of weeks, run a bit of cutter over there with that little buffer, just give it a wee quick repolish, and they'll come out really clean. Now and sharpen up. Like there's a wee bit of overspray and stuff in there. I did respray up in there because the first time I mastered it out, I must have cut back down a bit with the tape, but I made sure it was a bit better this time. So there was a bit of grey at the top where it's gone now, so that gave me the opportunity to fix those couple of things, which is good. Anyway, I'm going to grab that door and throw it in the back of my wagon and then go see the man with that car and maybe see if I can get another couple of doors to keep me going after next week. And yeah, just try and bang this thing back together tomorrow. And I'm hoping to finally go to a car show at the weekend. We'll see how that pans out. I've missed so many that I've wanted to go to. Yeah, I've missed so many I wanted to go to, like over the last few weeks. There's still some really good ones coming up, but there's a few just local ones that I wanted to catch that I just haven't been able to. Like there's plenty more coming. There's a few really good ones after Christmas, but this one next week is one of the better ones. Well, this weekend it's one of the better ones, which is good. But yeah, up until this point, just with trying to get this thing sorted over the last couple of weeks, it's sort of just it stopped me, if you know what I mean. I was trying to get it together and trying to get it blocked out and trying to get it sanded, and then yeah, like we painted the basically painted the thing twice. God, it's dirty. Yeah, we basically painted this thing twice to get it where I'm happier. At least I know all the other panels are pretty good. The tops of the fenders are a wee bit funny, but again, when you're buffing the rest, it's not hard to give it a wee light wet sand and give it a buff. You know, it'll turn around. It's pretty good, really. Like the bulk of it. The rest of it's like this, you know. This is glossy and shiny as this. I've just got to work on. There's something I've got to work on, or maybe I need to. Maybe I've got a couple of mates that don't do painting as well. Maybe next time I do a paint job, I might get one of them in there to give me a hand and just figure out a few things, you know. Hey, I don't know everything. I definitely don't admit that I know everything. Like, I can do most things, but sometimes just, you know, those bits and pieces. Like base coat, clear coat, it seems to be easier for all the base coat, clear coat jobs that I've done. I've always had less issues because you know, you're not worried about the base going on as long as it's even. You know, and you've got good coverage. Normally you're pretty right. It lays down flat anyway. And as long as you get the clear coat on good, even if it has got a bit of orange peel on it, it doesn't really matter quite so much. You know, you can pour it on. You know, if it's not going on as nice as you would like, you know, just pour an extra couple of coats on, wet sand it out, and then yeah, if you can get one nice coat over top, you know, like a flow coat, to really get it nice and glossy, but yeah, even then, you know, you can just wet sand it and give it a real good buff, and the clear's a bit more resilient, you know, like it's, because you're not breaking through that colour, so you haven't quite got, as long as you're not breaking through the clear, you're good, you know. Yeah, and as long as you've got plenty on, you're good. But it is one of those things that it's, well, you just got to get a handle on it sometimes, and obviously I'm just not quite doing something right, whether I'm just not going quite quick enough or what, or maybe I need to drop my air pressure slightly, or yeah, like I've done plenty of paint jobs over the years, but sometimes you just, things fight you, you know, and maybe there's obviously some bits I need to learn, so it is what it is, but I'm happy. Not 100%, but I'm happy, and I know it can be turned around, so that's the main thing. That from here it's easy salvageable, like it's, well, I mean, like salvageable, like it's not bad, it just needs a quick cut and buff really, and maybe a sand with 2,000 or 3,000, you know, or even 1,500, you know, just a quick knock back and give it a cut and buff, and it'll be beautiful, you know, for what it is, so that's cool. We'll start smashing it together tomorrow and get it cleaned up, and we'll flick a bit of black. We'll flick some black in around here, get all these pieces all blacked up, and we'll blacken up underneath the guards. You know, we'll get rid of this the overspraying in here more so than here. Like, we'll just cut it back through here with some rattle can black, or I might even, yeah, I'll just do it with rattle can black because I can easily control it. We can just hold some board down there and just flick it through and clean all that up. You know, clean all the front down up here. You know, we can just blow it through here and get it all right and sweet and all that sort of shit. So colour that all up. Yeah, and put it back together. Put all the scuttle panel and everything back on it. At some time, yeah, if he wants to. There's plenty of green there. So at some points, if he wants to get a chance to do that, we'll do it, you know, or he can do it, or he can get another mate to do it or something. It's not a big job, it's just, yeah, it's kind of past that point now. But it wouldn't take a lot to do it. You could even get that paint mixed up and put in some cans, if you know what I mean, and rattle can it in there yourself, you know. You could just take a few things off, mask some shit up, and you could just rattle can spray it, and you'd still end up with a decent job. If you really wanted to, you know, if you wanted to tart it up. You know, that would soon bring that round. Anyway, I'll catch you later on. Alrighty, so yeah, I only had a little bit left in that one. There's a bit in this one, but fucking, do you think I can get it to spray? So I might have to go grab a couple of cheap rattle cans. I normally just use this, because because it's like a rust protection as well. So I can just finish off this front piece, and I'm just hooking all the wiring back up that I pulled out. So, you know, also when I do flick a little bit of black in here, I'll just mist a wee bit of black over the wiring. I should have freaking taped it up, but I just didn't even think about it. Or covered it up, you know, partly. But I'll just flick a wee bit of black over the worst of the overspray, and the rest of it I'll try and wipe off, mainly the plugs and stuff, but I can just mist a little bit of black on there, and it'll actually clean the rest of it up. Yeah, it's not going to be too bad in here. It would have been nice if I could have got it, but just, you know, there's no time in it now for me, unfortunately. So it's kind of futile. Oh, Betty's speech up. Hold on. Anyway, we'll go grab a couple black rattle cans, and then we'll finish this off. And what I want to do is throw the battery and make sure it runs, make sure I've got everything hooked up properly, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so where are we at to? Struggling, but not really. Just freaking spent ages just screwing around stupid freaking door handles and shit. Had to fix that one. Had to fix that one because the little thread inserts, one came loose, and then when I went to tighten it up, it spun. And then one of the ones that was in that originally broke when it was, what did I do? Oh yeah, no, it come loose in the door, and then when I tried to clamp it and get it out, originally it broke up the bolt off, so I had to fix that. And then the door lock on here, so this lock in here, I think I had that about 3 or 4 times, because I put it in for a start off, and then I realised I couldn't get the door handle in, so I had to take it back out again, and then I put it in, and I put this rod in behind, thinking that it popped out here, like, but it was like on the inside, and then I realised that I couldn't, so I had to pull it back out again. So I was screwed around with it a bit, but yeah, we're getting there. So that one closes nice. This one closes reasonably nice, but I haven't got half the stuff in this one. I haven't got like any glass or anything yet. I was just still working on getting stuff sorted, and obviously I spent a bit of time sorting shit out because I just didn't have stuff sorted out very well. I had some stuff labelled and some not, so we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Just spent a lot of time screwing around, just trying to fix stupid little things. You know, just you can lose just ages trying to sort dumb little problems. But anyway, that's all good. So that's kind of where we're at. So I won't be back here tomorrow, but I might come back here Sunday. I've got another half an hour here or so. So yeah, and I've got bits and pieces in the other doors as well. Or not really, have I? No, I don't. No, I sorted out stuff for this side. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I thought I had some stuff in here, but I don't. I've got the front piece in that. And these stupid things that I've had to take out half the time because the bloody rods won't go up through. Then you got to wind the little bit through. So it's door handle for that side. Yeah, so the one for there. So yeah. So just going through it, and then yeah, my dumb ass for not labelling properly yet. But yeah, like again, one of these issues I just wish I had. One of these issues I wish I had sorted out. I would desperately love that shelf over here, so when I strip stuff off, I can organise things better and just put it on a shelf in a box or in bags and whatever, and just sort it out and have it separated into like different, you know, body panels and doors and whatever, and just have it all sitting up there in boxes. So if I've got 2 or 3 cars in here, I can have it all sorted out, and maybe like have a space for each vehicle, you know, for different bits and pieces, headlights and whatever, and handles, and have it all sorted. A bit more better, but yeah, just one of those things. Because I don't have the full reign of this place, it's just not easy, unfortunately. But and just sometimes it makes me a bit slack too, because I just get frustrated. So I just don't do some things sometimes. Push that over in there. Oh, I've been fighting with these stupid freaking clips in this thing because they're all stuck in the door, and I've been trying to get some of them out and whatever. That's all good. Yeah. actually things fit a bit better now where they've got locks and whatever. Yeah, like you can cheat the system a little bit by lifting latches up and down a little bit like these here. You can get it so it closes nice, and then you can just crib it up a little bit. Still closes nice, but it just lifts the door slightly so things line up better. I'll probably just drop it just a tick, but yeah, makes a difference. Hang on, because I'm out of adjustment in the hinges because that one's worn. It really needs a new pin through it to help the situation. It's got that, it's not hugely slopped out, but it's just kind of, because it's dropped probably, it's probably dropped that much over the years, at that point. Like, it's bugger all there, but it's probably a quarter of an inch here, and it's just enough that you can't quite get it dead on. That's fine. We'll carry on. Like, we've just got things sorted out now, and I know how to put it together so the other side will go way faster again. And it doesn't help having things apart for a while. But we're getting there. We'll carry on for a few minutes. We'll get a bit more stuff together, and then we'll bugger off and hopefully film a car show tomorrow. And some burnouts and all sorts of shit. Stuff that I normally would do, but just haven't had a chance to this year. Right, welcome back. So, it's the little things that drive you nuts in these cars. To be honest, I actually wished I had like a belly lifter, a 2-post hoist or something like that, so I wasn't fucking nailed down so long. But it's the little things that absolutely drive you batty. It's like all these little clips. I really should have taken them out before I painted, but it doesn't really matter. And on different vehicles, sometimes they're really easy to, obviously it depends on the rubber, but they're quite easy just if you leave them in the door, and you can just slip them over one end and pull them down, and you can just keep doing that. But for some reason these things just fight me, because to get them all out too is a prick, because they're just awkward to get out. And because I rebuilt the front of this door, all that metal down there, there's none in there anymore. Like, and I think I got a couple out, but I think most of them just got destroyed trying to get them out too. Like, sometimes they come out easy, and sometimes you'll fight and fight and fight and fight, and then you'll bust them. I was just trying to have a wee look over here before to see if I had any. And then also I just noticed that door handle on the passenger's front door, fortunately I put it in that one, and not the back one, because the back one you've got to actually disassemble everything, all the door lock and everything out to get the door handle out. Tell me how I know that, because I had to frickin' pull it out to get that one back in there, and then I had to frig around with the threads with it as well. I had to re-tap the threads and the little inserts and shit, because this here is where you put the bolt in, but it's not dead straight on. And if you, like, you sort of get it, sort of think, oh, it's half started, then you frickin' try and wrench on it, and you end up shit cockeyed, and it just won't do up. But anyway, so I've got this one here in, but I've realised that this one here, the little plastic hinge pin must be broken or something, because this one sort of, it's all loose. It does work, but it's not right, if you know what I mean. So it's either going to have to be pulled out and repaired or replaced, which is a pain. And now that I've got that frickin' clip in there, it's on the main rod, it's a prick to pop back off. I had a bastard job trying to get them off the doors in the first time. So yeah, it's like all those little things drive you absolutely nuts. So I'm still in the midst of trying to put this frickin' shit together at 10 o'clock Monday morning. Just fighting with these stupid doors. I don't think they're ever going to be that difficult to put together, but, well, they're not really. It's the stupid, just fighting forever with dumb fucking clips and stupid shit. Or you get a, like the rods, because I left them on the thing, but when I try to put them in here, it's to get them to sit in the right orientation, like which ones are meant to be overlapping what, like this rod here and this rod here. I had this rod sort of behind that one, because that's what it kind of looked like when you like stand it up from the brackets, because it's actually lower. It connects on lower down than this rod, but yeah, it needed to be can't remember what it is. Yeah, it needs to be in front of it, not behind it, but it's hard to tell that orientation when you got the door lock out, if you know what I mean. So you try to get them, slip them, everything in there, and then get them in the right orientation. And yeah, so that was a fight too, because I had everything hooked up. So I managed to finally loosen the screws off and pop the connector off that, and then put it back in, then pop it back in again. But just, you just fucking waste so much time doing that. But anyway, I'll carry on. I'll stop waffling, because I just stupid shit drives me nuts. So I got that one fully finished, and obviously I'm still working around the others. I'm just back at this one fully finished, and I was like, I'll go get the glass and put it in. I thought, without the rubber in there, surely I must better get in. But no, I have to take that out, loosen those bolts off, slide that in right so I can get the glass in there, slide that back over that way, slip there back in there, and then line it all up, and then put the regulator in. Oh, we'll keep fighting. Righty, welcome back. So I'm getting this thing together, been struggling in lots of ways, not just like with the car, just lots of other things going on. But I sort of better make a video today on how to put a like a side window or something like this back in that's in a rubber. And this is easy enough to do by yourself, this small one. To a degree, you know what I mean? So put a bit of string, rope, just something small, like small but decent, like a decent strength, not too light, around it, back to the bottom. And then you would poke it in here. Make sure your bottom part of the rubber is over where you want to be, basically. Get the rubber to sit down over that lip. Put a bit of pressure on the outside. And obviously if you can get it in from both directions makes a big deal. Well, poke the end of the string through, or rope through. And then grab your rope. You may have to tie this off or get somebody else to give you a hand, but you can do it by yourself. A bit more. Got to get it pushed down in that bottom. Basically put just a bit of pressure on the outside of it. And you get that rubber to come up and over. It's going around. That pulls the rubber over for you. Just give it a gentle thump with the back of your palm of your hand. Don't hit it hard, just like a gentle thump, if you know what I mean. But you don't have to go gung ho or really pound on it. But you just have to push it back into where it needs to be. And for this top corner, because it's poked up into that corner, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you might not be able to. I'll drop you down a little bit. Just the camera here. A little bit. Right, hopefully you can see that okay. I don't have to pull the rubber out to do it again because I've already put the other one in. But this top corner, now you're sort of in that zone and it's quite a tight angle. Stop there with that string and pull this one around. bring this back up to right at the corner. So if you've got a window that's not like sort of squarish, if you know what I mean, and it's got a sharp corner, leave that as your last corner to pull to, you know what I mean. So you use it. I don't want it. Use it as your last corner to pull to. And then you can put the string in there and you're done basically. Just a gentle pat and it'll just go back in, tuck your hood lining back in. And just go around and check it, make sure it's good. And you're done. This one doesn't have a lock. Some of them have a lock, like a lock, that piece that goes in the outside of the rubber. Let me show you what I mean. Fortunately, this doesn't have that. Sometimes you'll find that they'll have like a lock channel. It might be a piece of stainless steel or a like a little insert, and you'll have to push that in as well. But this doesn't happen to have it, fortunately, so it's easy. Once you've got it in, it's in, you know what I mean. Just got to give it a gentle thump and make sure all the edges are back over. I've already done this one. Done this one first. So yeah, it's a bit of it's just an easy way to do it. If you got two people, it's definitely a lot easier because you can get somebody just to hold a bit of pressure on the outside, and as you pull the string, they can just follow you around and just give it a pat in with your hand. You know, you can do it with bigger windows, rear windows, like I'll show you again, probably on the deck lid when I do that, or the hatch. But I'll need somebody to help me with that one, I would think. I'll get my partner to give me a hand. So yeah, I'll get her to sit on the outside, and we'll get everything sitting in. We'll put the tailgate on and we'll close the hatch, and I'll pull the string from the outside, and I'll just get her to just pat the window in as we push it in, pull it in. Again, it doesn't have a lock on it, but yeah, it's easy enough to do. Anyway, I'll do that in a separate video, but yeah, it's just a quick wee video to show you how to do it, and it's pretty simple. Don't be scared of it. You can put a little bit of like dishwash even on the inside of the rubber if it's a bit tight and it won't move in. Put just a little bit of dishwash in where the string is, but that will make it slippery. But you can do that and just try and leave the end of your string dry. And just put a little bit. Don't put it heaps, just enough on there to make it slip. But yeah, you can do something like that. But normally they go. If the rubber's good enough and it's soft enough, if you're really fighting with it, it's an old brittle rubber, you're better off to replace it. But if it's still quite soft and pliable, yeah, it should go in easy. Like these ones are 40 years old, so they're still going in all right. So anyway, I'll catch you later on. Thanks for watching. Righty, welcome back. This car is an absolute thorn on my side. Oh, absolute pain in the butt, but we're getting there. It's just, there's always something fighting you. But anyway, turn the camera around, I'll show you where we're at. I had to redo the bumper ends. I'll brief you about that in a second. But yeah, we're getting the rest of it back together basically. We're just about done really. There's a few odds and ends and bits and pieces and some stuff on the inside that's probably got to go back in, but it can probably stay out until obviously he's works out. He's probably going to put new carpet and all sorts of bullshit anyway, so I'll just put the seats and just quickly bolt them in so it can be moved. I'll show you what's going on with this bumper. Alright, so briefly, got the back window in. I haven't got that on. I've got my partner come down here and she gave me a hand to put the rear glass in and a couple other bits and pieces. I should put a couple little bits and pieces on for me. Just some small stuff like those trims and mirrors and a couple of things, because I went to put the bumper on this morning, and I think initially when I did the first setup and I was trying to make these pieces fit, I think I had the balance in there, but I think at some point I didn't. And when you don't have everything obviously in there and all the bolts in, it was obviously very just marginally narrower, but with that centerpiece in there, it pushes it back out. And I thought I had this sorted, but that doesn't even completely line up now, so I'll have to try and do something with that. I don't know why. But when I got the front end sitting where it is, the guards obviously left to right and whatever, and tried to get to the centre as I could with the hood and all that sort of bullshit, or bonnet. I went to put the bumper on, and basically it pushed. I had to like pull the guards in to get it to go in. Now, what I did is cut this piece off this end of it, and I actually moved it over a little bit and put a bit of filler in there, and then I've put a new piece in behind here to try and get rid of some of the excess. I got to trim this back because I actually had a little bit long here before, and I was trying to get it in there to make sure everything bolted up. I scratched that, but that's very easy, so I could just put a wee dab of paint on there, and by the time I've repainted the bumper end, and I'll clean this up, and I might make the bottom a little bit better, so I'll give it a quick scuff and do some mud work in here, and obviously some mud work on here. So we've just basically joggled this over. It wouldn't be quite a 1/4 inch, but it might be close, if you know what I mean. Jiggled everything over and then reshaped in here, and I got rid of some, took some shit material out and put a better piece in there when I moved everything over. So yeah, I need to just grind this back a little bit more. So we'll quickly do some body work. We'll put a bit of glass filler on there, and then I'll blend everything else in, and we'll give this a quick scuff. I'll probably just scuff the whole thing, to be honest, and then repaint it. I'll have to blow a wee bit of primer on here obviously first. But yeah, at least it fits now, not fits, it fits, and it'll bolt up, and I don't have to try and push everything in. Yeah, because I was having to push everything in, and it was starting to flex and distort and whatever. And what actually happened is, down here, I've actually must have to weld this up, and what it done is it actually broke. And partly the reason why I've replaced this piece is because where I'd welded it through somewhere, I obviously didn't have it very strong, and it broke through here. Trying to flex it in, and this was obviously putting a lot of pressure on it, and it broke through here, cracked it through here somewhere too. It must, because I think I had a bit of that fiberglass filler in the edge of it, where I sort of built it out a little. I think it was it was a bit of a weird piece in the corner I didn't fill properly with metal, so I just put a wee bit of glass filler in there, and probably had like a little piece, and it broke that out too when I was trying to put it on. So we'll go weld that, grind that back, and then we'll put some more mud on there, and we'll clean up our edges and whatever, and give it a scuff down, flick a little bit of primer in, mix up a little bit of primer. I'll blow a bit into this corner once we've done a bit of mud work, which shouldn't take too long, hopefully. Hopefully I can get it in a couple of shots. We'll put some glass filler in there, and we'll just do a wee bit more grinding and whatever. Get that a wee bit more cleaned up. Put a bit of glass filler and let that go off. We'll knock that down. Put a normal bit of filler in there, knock that down. And then hopefully we'll be pretty close, and we'll just mix up a little bit of, I wish I had some fucking rattle can primer, because I just do it with that, but I'll mix up a little bit of that 2-pack, and we'll just flick it in there a bit. And we'll obviously won't have to fix this anyway, so we'll probably flick that whole piece. Just blend the ends in where I've ground this off. Here and here where I ended up the bodywork half sort of joined, but it doesn't really matter. I can fix it now. Right, and just glass over, put the glass floor over that. Where I've done repairs and modified, altered it a bit. So let that cure off a bit. That should be good. So yeah, I'll let that cure off. Then we'll knock that down with some 80 on the DA, and then I'll mix up a bit of normal body filler and we'll put that over top of that and just to blend everything out and whatever. And then I will re-scuff. I'll scuff this and just give it a quick file over and just maybe, you know, just see if we can get maybe a few more minor imperfections out of it, because I ain't going to end up respraying it anyway, so you know, and then we can just tidy up a little bit around some of these spots and whatever, but kind of is what it is. But it'll just have to get, that'll have to get just one coat basically, and the ends will give it a, you know, we'll just blow over them a couple of 3 times lightly, if you know what I mean. And then when we go to give this the one coat, we'll do the whole lot. Yeah. But anyway, it is what it is. Right, so I've got this basically ready to blow a bit of primer on. Basically, yeah, I think I might have to chase a couple of little spots with some glazing putty. But I think what I'll do is I'll mix up some primer, like a reasonable small amount, and the last little cup I've got. I wish I had another one, but I don't. Be freaking handy to do some painting, but if I have to use one of those, I have to use one of those. What's this 4:1 in it? So I'll probably mix up enough to, I don't know, maybe 100 mils or so. I shouldn't need anything more than that, but that should give me enough to blow on the ends several times. And get a decent build on there, and then whatever's left in the way of marks, I'll just chase with a little bit of glazing putty, and then give it a rub out. Might come to even down here later on, give it a rub out, check it. If I have to put another coat on, I'll put another coat on there, if you know what I mean. But I'll get some primer on these ends. I've given this a scuff with a bit of 240, so that should be fine to spray over top of, you know, like whatever. I'll give it another scuff anyway later on, but one with sanding and whatever. But we'll get some primer back on these fucking ends. I've covered up the car reasonably well. I'm just wondering if I should hang something a wee bit more down that side. This side's alright, I think. Yeah, what I might do is pull it one way and then hang something else down that side. Just freaking, the car's that freaking slippery shit wants to slide off it too, so you gotta be careful it doesn't fall off. But yeah, I'll grab another sheet and I'll hang down here. Get the car covered up. I was going to push it outside, but it's probably okay. But I'll grab another sheet out of my box somewhere and throw it over there. I thought I had one there, but it's an old fitted sheet, so it's good for rags, but not much for anything else. Like it's alright for over a panel or something like that, but not so much over a car. And we'll get a bit of primer mixed up below. We'll just quickly, you know, well, I wouldn't say quickly, but you know, every, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes we'll blow another coat over it, and we'll get as much primer on there as we can and let that cure off. We'll come down here tonight, we'll give it a quick rub back. It should rub back within about 4 hours. Should rub back alright if I pour it on fairly thick. If you can get away with giving it a rub out within about an hour with only a couple of coats, if you were done all your body work and you think, shit, it's not really quite good enough, and you would have just flicked another couple over and give it a wee light rub out and then paint over top, you're normally pretty good within about an hour. But 3 or 4 coats, you really probably need to leave it sort of probably overnight, if you know what I mean, to rub it back properly. But I'll get away with it, and then I might better just chase any other little marks, if you know what I mean, and then maybe just give it another wee quick prime with maybe just another coat or something like that, just to bring it up if need be. Right, so it doesn't look too bad. There's a couple of runs in it and whatever, but I'm not too panicked about that. I think we'll come back down here, I don't know, it's about 5 o'clock now. I might shoot back down here 6, 7, so 7:30, 8 o'clock, and just maybe give it a wee sand just to see how it comes out. And then if we have to give it a wee bit more primer, I think we'll be right though. Doesn't look too bad. I think with a rub out, I flicked it a bit along there because it scratched in a couple of places. Didn't really need to, but you know what I mean. I just did. We'll give it a wee rub out and then we'll just see how it sits. Hopefully it's cured enough, if you know what I mean. I poured it on there pretty thick, as you can see. Left finger mark in it, but yeah, if it's too soft in a couple of hours, we won't worry about it. But just rub it out in the morning and spray it. But I'd like to be able to sand it tonight, and at least then I can know if I need to put another coat on it or something like that. You know, mix up a little bit more and put another couple of coats on it, and then rub it out again in the morning, and then spray it. Right, morning. I'll do that. I'll double vision today. So I'm just sanding down this bumper again so I can mix up some paint and spray it. I actually did a post on TikTok yesterday, and like I've been putting posts up on Facebook, like through different groups and bits and pieces, and obviously on my own personal page. I hardly get any freaking response on Facebook anymore. It's absolute garbage. Like I might, like for every page that I put a post on, I might get like 2 or 3 freaking like thumbs up. It's hopeless. Like even like on all the local car groups, you know, some I do, but like it's just the same old people giving you a thumbs up, you know, and whatever. But I put a post up on TikTok saying, you know, look, I'm looking for more work, you know. I really need to get some more work, otherwise I'm gonna have to go like find a normal job, and then start trying to get, you know, something in to maybe be able to come back and do it again full time. But I've had a massive response. So basically, what I did is I put hashtag need help, hashtag whatever, you know, please help, whatever sort of type thing, and then I put my area, hashtag that, and then hashtag obviously New Zealand, and you know, vintage cars and whatever, and I've had over 14 or 15,000 responses and had quite a few messages of people that actually want just anything from small stuff to bigger, like rust repairs done. Right, I think I've got this sorted now, so I am going to mix up some paint. I've just wiped it down. I'll mix up a bit of paint and we'll flick some on. I hope it's freaking just cooling off. It's a bit of a pain, but I'll give that a wee bit more rub there. Just take that, it's a bit of a funny edge there, but give that a wee bit more of a rub. But yeah, just want to get it done now and get it out of here so I can go hopefully look at another vehicle. Get out of Galway. I've actually had a few little jobs pop up, which would be handy. But yeah, I really need something now, which would be good. But hopefully, yeah, some of these people can just, you know, I can get something in here for, you know, the next few weeks instead of and over Christmas, if you know what I mean. Keep me going, but you know, we'll flick some paint in this and we'll get the last of this freaking thing back together and get it out of my hair and get them to come pick it up. I've got a few bits to put on, but I just want to get this painted and then I can go look at this other car, hopefully. Right, so I'm not going to worry about putting this through my cup because I know roughly what worked last time. So I've got it just over slightly 20% in there. It's a bit hard when you're doing a little amount. I'm using an old cup that I just gave it a really good clean out, just for a little bit for the bumper. I'm not too stressed about it. You know what I mean? Like I made sure the cup was as clean as possible, and then just was. It might have been the one it was the one I was tipping paint back into from when I was doing that. So it was pretty clean anyway. I gave it a fairly good rinse out the other day. I don't have any other little small cups, and I didn't want everyone to use a big one. Not that it really matters, but I'll have to order some more. But yeah, so I was going to go 2, but by the time I poured the first bit of paint in, I was already at the 3. So I was like, oh, for a little bit like that, it's not going to matter much. If I have to waste a little bit, still plenty in there. Like there's probably, what am I, just under half, I guess, painting that. So there's plenty of paint there. So that should go a pretty long way. I think if you had to paint the roof as well, like you'd probably be, you might be, you know, maybe have a quarter left, something like that. But like I only got a litre for the roof, and I haven't used that much of it, and we've painted bits of it, you know, twice. So there's plenty for in the engine bay and wherever else he wants to do later on, or if he happens to have damage it at some point, he's got, you know, quite a bit there to fix something. Anyway, so yeah, we'll mix up a little bit, we'll give that a wee stir, and we'll get spraying, and yeah, we'll go from there, and we'll go have a look at this car, hopefully. Right, that's sort of just the first sort of half medium sort of coat on there. I obviously didn't spray too much down here. I'll get like a better down the bottom. It's more trying to get some colour on here and where it's sanded, obviously. But that looks better. Hopefully nothing breaks or cracks and does anything stupid on me this time. Righty, so that's the third, basically. Just to give it a decent build, obviously to cover wear of, you know, done repairs and whatever, make sure there's a decent thickness on there. Something that ever happens to wet sand it or buff it or wear it at some point, you know, cut and polish, whatever, somewhere down the line. So that's good, nice and wet and juicy looking. Awesome. So yeah, that's good. We'll bugger off and leave that alone. I have a quick bite to eat and try and go have a look at this car and see if I can get some work on. Man, I'm getting some inquiries. I'm getting some inquiries on through TikTok and whatever, and there's been quite a few people actually share the post that I'm back onto Facebook through other followers and whatever. So that's awesome. I'm starting to get some people. I just need a couple of solid ones that just to go for a start off, even if the other ones just come along later, like, you know what I mean? If I can get some decent, if I can get something just to pop up in the next day or two, it'd be absolutely freaking awesome. Because basically, I've only got to bolt that on and put the last few things on it and get it the frig out of here. Yeah, apart from that, you know, I've got a couple other things to do here, but basically they're not paying. Now, if you know what I mean, it's already been paid for. So yeah, I need something in here, and yeah, I've got quite a few different things just to get one that's just going to go, yep, nah, sweet, bring her in and get it done. Like once I've sorted out a bit of stuff, so that'd be freaking awesome. But yeah, I've had a lot of them. I wouldn't say a lot, but a decent amount of inquiries. Like probably, I would say, probably 10 decent like inquiries on things. So yeah, who knows? Just hopefully feel them actually lead somewhere and just, you know, not somebody that's looking at maybe getting some stuff done. Like, oh, I need some solid, you know, yep, no, cool, I'll bring her in, sort of thing, you know, and somebody that's actually got, you know, actually got a chunk of change set aside to do it. That's the biggest issue is it's all good getting the inquiries, you know, oh, you know, what does it take to do this, or what does it take to do that, you know, and you go, oh, you know, it's going to be, if you really want it done properly, you know, we'll strip it down to bare metal and, you know, knock all the rust out of it and whatever and straighten her up and whatever, and then, you know, block it and prime it and whatever and all that sort of bullshit, you know. Well, you know, that's big money. If you're not committed and got a decent amount of money there, it's all good to look at it, but yeah, it's, you know, if you got a decent chunk of change, we can make a decent hit at it, if you know what I mean. Even if you say, look, this is my bottom dollar, you know, I'm prepared to go further later, but you know, I've got, I don't know, say ballpark figure 20 grand. Here's 20 grand, you know, we'll get into it, we'll get it done, you know, don't worry about getting paint or anything and sorted at this moment, but get in there, get the metal work done, and get as far as you can with getting into bodywork, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and then maybe they can take it away and then bring it back, you know, in a few months' time. That's sort of what's happening with that 65 Impala. And at some point I will get some more stuff from it and whatever, but I need a few of those sorts of jobs, you know, just to keep the ball rolling. So once I've got through 3 or 4, maybe that other person that was 3 or 4 jobs ago say, yeah, no, sweet, I've got another chunk of change, we'll bring that car back and we'll get some more done, you know, we'll get it finished. That's kind of what I need, but that's to get it. And like, I'd actually like to have 2 or 3 different jobs in here all at once, you know, and go, all right, I'm going to spend 2 weeks on yours, and then 2 weeks on yours, and then 2 weeks on yours, and then by the time you come back around to doing 2 weeks of theirs, they've got some extra cash going. You know, they might have a bit set aside for it, but you're going to do another 2 weeks, and then another 2 weeks. That's what I like to be doing. So I'm not just blowing one job out in one hit. It doesn't work. But the circumstances, like I can get more than one car around here, but it's to have room and space to work on it and spray it and paint it and whatever else. That's my biggest issue. I would dearly love those tractors out here, because if I could just put stuff in that bay where that tractor is underneath that mezzanine and close it in, it's the perfect, it's not perfect size, but it's really close to perfect size. It's not quite long enough, but it'd be okay for a body, but it's nice and wide, so I can get an extra couple of panels in there. The idea if it was longer, but it's nice and wide. It's a good wide booth, so I could get, if I had that whole area clear and I made up some stands and bits and pieces, made out some bits to hang doors on and guards on and whatever, just apart from panel stands, if you know what I mean. Actually had something that I could actually clip something in so it was standing up, and I can get in and spray it from both sides and not have to flip shit over and whatever. That would be ideal, and then you could wheel a body in there and blowing around the jams and, you know, whatever, you know what I mean. You could paint all the other bits off, unless it was one of those colours that you got to paint it all together, if you know what I mean. Like a candy or a metallics or something like that. You got to be careful, but yeah, like solid colours, like what I've been doing, like it doesn't matter if the panels are off or on, you know what I mean. It's all the same colour and it doesn't matter. That's when you get some of those other candies and flakes and whatever else. If you spray them and they're not in the position that they should be in, it's very easy to get the same colour totally different if it's not sprayed right, if you know what I mean. Right, so I just got back from looking at that car and looked at the pump he hit, but that looked positive. He's going to have a work out what he wants to spend at this point, and yeah, we might have that in here in the next day or two, hopefully before the weekend, but we'll just see. It might be really next week. Right, we'll have a look at this bumper, see how soft it is. I don't really want to touch it too much, but I can probably muck around with some other stuff, and then we can put that on in the morning and get rid of this effing thing out of here. No, I don't want to take photos of myself. So welcome back. So we finally got everything sorted. And we've got 3 cars coming in the next few days, week, whatever. 2 Valiants, so we're back into some Mopar land. And it's one of those Volkswagen coupe things that's been modified into a ute, and he wants some work done on it. But anyway, we'll show you around the old Corolla. I gave it a quick wee buff on the doors and the back guards this morning. It really needs, you know, maybe in a month or 2 or whatever, you know, a light wet sand and then another wee buff. I just run over it just to brighten it up a little bit. It was just a wee bit flat. It's not bad, but it needs a wee wet sand in a couple of spots. But, you know, give it some time to cure it. It looks good now. So we've got her out here in the sun. Obviously, the chrome's not around the windscreen or on the bonnet or anything like that. Obviously, it hasn't got its nice wheels on. So, but yeah, that looks good. It's a wee bit flat still, but it's better than it was. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Like the front guards are pretty shiny, but the doors now they're a wee bit flat. But it'd be just sort of, you know, give it a rub back with a bit of 1500 and 2000 and 3000, and then just give it a buff, and it'll come up really sharp. So the bumper looks okay. I'm reasonably happy with that. Kind of is what it is. But, so yeah, I didn't put the carpet back in it because I want to show them what's going on with the sound deadening. That really needs to come out both sides, so I just left it out. It's better off being out than me throwing everything back in there, and then he's got to pull everything back out again. And obviously I haven't put the window winder handles on, or the pull handles on the doors or anything like that, because there's not much point at the moment. Just got to put all that sort of stuff in. I didn't put these trims in here because he's thinking about putting new ones on there, so I wasn't sure what he was doing. And we haven't put these on here because there's meant to be plastic trims on there, and half of them are broken and whatever. The ones that were on there, I think there's only one that survived, which is that one. The rest all just blew to pieces when I started pulling things off. They're just brittle, and these are meant to have like those clips in there, I think. But yeah, you can see the couple of holes. It's meant to have those pieces in there, but the glass has been put on there and that was glued on. They were glued on, so he may want to go back down to the glass shop or something like that and get him to glue those trims on, or he might find some better trims because one of them's had screws in it and all sorts of shit. So I just left them off, and if he wants to put better stuff on it, I left the aerial out because it was already broken. But he can, if he can find a better one, he can put it in, and there's probably meant to be a hole up here somewhere, so he can work out where that's meant to be and put the screw back through there, you know, drill a hole, whatever. So yeah, and same with those rear trims. This one is sort of only just really hanging on. It was glued up there. I left the other one off because the trim holes are, you know, the plastic plugs are all rooted. And he's got better tail lights for it and whatever, but looks pretty smart. So just a quick rundown on what I did. If you haven't seen the earlier videos, I deleted the back bumper holes. A little bit of body work to the tailgate, hardly anything, mainly just knocked a few dents out of it. There was a couple down below and a couple up top. Straighten the back guards out because it's had repairs done in here before, and when I pulled the glass out, it had never been painted and behind the rubber, so it was starting to rust again. So, but because it had been welded through there, it had warped through here, so I straightened that out quite a bit better. Fixed, there was a crack at the wood door post here, so I welded that, put a patch in there, and put some glass filler in there where they had flared these guards before, and then put some normal body filler over top, try and give it a bit more strength, stop it from flexing. Yeah, it's the best I can sort of do with what they'd done, without cutting everything out and making a new piece and really screwing around and just spending buckets of money. The rust in the bottoms of the doors, fixed this, straightened that, had a few dents in it, some bits had been broken out. I think the other one was the one that had the big smash piece out of there, but that had been bent and twisted, and they'd had this under seal tarry shit in there, was all the paint had come off it and whatever. Made bumper ends for it and sucked the bumper in 4 inches, tweaked the ends back and put a slight peak in the centre. I probably could have left the slight peak in the centre out, but it doesn't really matter. I think it looks alright. Yeah, this one here was the same as the other side. Bodywork had fallen off there. Had a weird shit going on here, it had broken away. The hood bonnet had rusted out in the front in about 3 places, and then it had a big ugly frickin' bit in them here. Well, that bottom valance is still not pretty, but I hammered it out. It was all bent and twisted. Did a quick bit of body work on it and then sprayed it with some texture undercoat, which is also on the insides of the guards and all those inner wheel arches now, where it was hardly anything in there. It was a lot of bare metally sort of half primer, sort of, you know, half painted shit in there. So that's all now got some plenty of protection in it. The bottom of the A post had a rotten piece in there we discovered when we were cleaning up some surface rust. It was rusty right around there. It's got a new bottom of the door. Oh, I've rebuilt the front edge of this door as well. This was all rotted out. Yeah, and did a patch in the bottom, patch in the floor. That's why I haven't really sort of done too much with it. But yeah, you can see how it's all rusty in there, but it all needs to come out both sides, probably even in the back seat, below the seats. It probably really needs all that insulation taken out, treated, put some rust treatment in, you know, paint something in there, and then put some new sound deadening in. And again, same on this door, bottom of the door, well, a patch in the bottom of the door. Same here, had a broken here, and then there was a bit of a rust hole in there, and then again straighten this out because it had been screwed around this piece. So that's everything I've done. Oh, and a hole in the roof on that side above the door, so in here somewhere on the other side, done a piece there. And I just straightened this up because it was a bit weird in here. Just didn't look right. It had a lot of body filler and everything. This has been early on in its life. If you haven't seen the early videos, it had been in a smack sometime really early in its life, but it might have been sort of 3 or 4 years old, because there was a sticker on the post, and then the phone number was on it was before they added 2 more phone numbers on them in about 91, 2 or 3 or whatever it was. For the whole in New Zealand, they added 2 more prefix numbers. So yeah, that was before then. So this is like an 84 or 83 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. So yeah, sometime in those first 3, 4, 5 years, it had a smack in the front, and it's had all that front panel work replaced. It's not original to the car, but the rest is, from what I can tell. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've done. It's like I had all the glass and everything all out of it and all that sort of stuff. And obviously repainted the roof as well. So yeah, I was hoping to repaint underneath the bonnet or underneath the hood, but just with the cost of everything else, we can flag that in the meantime. It's maybe he can do something later on. There's plenty of paint to do it if he really wants to do that, or if it even needs a touch up at some stage, there's plenty of paint there to do that. There's plenty of paint to probably repaint the roof again as well. So I've got 4 litres of paint to do the body, and a litre to do the roof, and there's still about half-ish or a bit more than that for the roof, and there's probably a bit under half. That might be, it's somewhere between a third and a half left to for the main body colour. So there's plenty of paint to do underneath here, and I painted all the insides of the doors and around the back windows and in the back of that too. So it's been, it's done as nicely as possible. But yeah, it needs some finishing bits, obviously. I didn't paint, like I probably could have painted the window wipers and all that sort of stuff, but again, it's extra time, extra money. That's something he can do. Clean all those little bits up and paint the trims and whatever else he wants to put on it. He can get the window, the chrome put on it and all that sort of shit. If he wants me to put the weather strips back in, that's a 10-minute job. But yeah, he's got better lights and bits and pieces for it, and I think he's got the bumper lights and shit for it. But they should all still fit, because I didn't alter the position of those pieces. When I modified the bumper brackets, we cut them beyond that, so they should still fit. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I haven't altered anything in that sort of thing. We've just sucked it in, so they should still go back in their natural place, hopefully. So yeah, that's it. She's done. So again, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, hit the bell, all those sorts of things. And yeah, we'll see you in the next videos. So thanks for watching.